sure you guys can hear me loud enough, but thought I'd film going through the inspection station that's on the Needle side of California, right after you cross over from the Arizona side. So this is the Needles agricultural station. So technically this is not a weigh station. It's an inspection station. So basically certain stations that they have, they might be combined. Like they might have a weigh scale as well as the agricultural station. Watch this guy over here. You guys will see him. That's not smart, and I'm gonna explain why. So the trucks have their own lane, right? Now the ones that are for cars, see that truck on the left? See that green arrow? Right under there, there's like a black box, and they turn the sign on that says trucks. If that sign is not on, you can't go through there. So they'll let you through sometimes if the line is backed up for like the trucker side, but majority of the time they'll tell you, unless we turn that light on. I'll see, he's flashing his light now, his flashlight. So he's telling them to go. But normally they don't like when you just go over there. It has to have that sign up. Alright, hold on. Thank you. So typically when you have doubles and like dry vans, they don't really mess with you. You still have to like slow down, have your bills ready, and just be prepared for them to tell you to like pull over and let them inspect the back. But the agricultural stations, if you guys don't know, is mainly for like refrigerated loads. Because, well, refrigerated plants, like those that carry, trucks that carry like the trees and things like that, you know, like around Christmas time, and they have like the Christmas trees or the pine trees, or you know, like those trucks that carry the plants and trees for the nurseries and things like that. So the agricultural station is like for fruits, any type of goods that can carry bugs. That's what their main concern is I forgot what state I was in. It's the stuff that they want to make sure that you're not bringing in any kind of insects or anything like that. So they typically inspect like refrigerated loads because of the produce. They want to make sure that the fruit and the lettuce and all that stuff doesn't have any kind of bugs in it, so that you're not bringing bugs from one state to the next, and yada yada, so on and so forth. So typically when we have doubles or even like our dry vans, we normally get flagged through. They'll just say, okay, thanks. But I always have my bills ready. There's some that still check the bills no matter what. But it only takes like a few seconds, no more than a minute. They just kind of flip through the pages and then be done with it. But that's what that station is for. I was saying that some of them might be combined. They might have like an agricultural station as well as a weigh station. For example, the agricultural weigh station that's right there in California coming from Las Vegas. So when you're crossing from Nevada, I'd say maybe like 20 miles from like state line, 20, 30 miles from state line, They have the agricultural waste station where the CHP, that big CHP waste station is. So that also has agricultural. So those booths that are right there that you go drive through, they have those, and then they have the one for the trucker side. The truck split off from regular traffic, and then the trucks go through their side, and once they wave you through, if you're already on that side, then the scale, it'll have like the little thing that looks like a speaker, or kind of like a radar gun on top of like the poles. It'll scan your best pass, and it'll tell you whether to pull in or not, if you're gonna bypass. And then if you have to pull in, then you stay to the right. If you bypass, you stay to the left, and it merges you back onto the 15 freeway. I probably said it super confusing, but those of you that have been through there, you know what I'm talking about. So they have those that are combined, and then they have the ones that was just like the one that I went through that's just strictly agricultural. So there's no, weighing you or anything like that. They just want to check your bills or inspect your trailer. Ooh, excuse me, guys. I am so tired. So, back to what I was saying about the trucks going to the left. I had went through there one time because some of the trucks that were on the right, I was in the left lane passing a truck, and they wouldn't let me back in. And I went through there, and she's like, if we don't have the sign on, or we don't tell you to come through this way, do not come through this way. And I said, well, the trucks wouldn't let me back over. And she's like, it's fine, I'm just letting you know. And I said, okay. So ever since then, I've been staying to the right unless they call me over there, or unless the sign is on. So there was another time, because I go through this station every week. So there was another time that I was going through there, and the sign was on. It said trucks. And so I went in, and she was like, is the sign on? And I said, well, yeah, the sign's on right now. And she's like, the sign's on right now. And I said, yeah, it says trucks, otherwise I would have come through here. So she let me through, and then I saw when she walked over to the end of the thing and saw that the sign was on, and then she walked back to her podium and turned it off. So depending on who's standing there, they're going to be pretty strict about you going through there without being flagged or waved through there. So just be careful with that, you guys, because you don't want to get on their bad side. Not that they can really do anything to you, to my knowledge, but it's more or less like a reputation thing, and most people don't care. Most drivers don't care about that. Oh, what are they going to do to me? It's not my company, blah, blah, blah. But we represent the company name, and the company standard. And to me, it's just not a good look. But, and again, I'm one for somewhat following the rules. I don't want to say that I strictly follow the rules, because there's been some times, but, majority of the time, if there's no reason to cause waves, I don't cause waves. But again, going through there is not really big, that big of a headache. It's super simple. Like I said, just have your bills ready. And I always turn my headlights off and put my four-ways on, so that way I'm not blinding them as I'm pulling forward. And most of the stations, way stations, agricultural stations, they have those bright like spotlights. It's to combat our lights, but even then, like, I still just turn my headlights off, and leave like the parking lights on, and then put my four-ways on. And plus, for the newer trucks, it our LED lights at the top, those stay lit up. Especially if you're in motion, those will be on, but it won't be blinding them because they're more kind of like dim. They're more dim than the headlights and the brights. So I just have those on with the four-way flashers. And go through the station that way. And once I get past, I turn my lights on and then turn my four-ways off, put my left blinker on, and then get back into the right lane, and merge back into the right lane. So, yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know how I go through the agricultural stations. I do the same thing for the way stations. Turn my headlights off, put my four-ways on. When I'm coming up to the scale and like the where the officers sit or whatever, I don't even know what the building, we'll just call it the building. I was gonna say office, but where the building is usually is to the right, depending on which direction. Nope, they're pretty much always to the right. It's rare when I go on a scale and then the building is to the left. It's very rare. I think there's maybe like one or two that I go through that are like that. But majority of the time when you're going on the scale, the building is to the right of you. And I don't even look at the building. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm pulling onto the scale, checking my mirrors as I'm getting on the scale very slowly. I'm following the instructions, watching the sign for when they change it, telling me to, pull forward slowly, stop, exit to interstate, and all that stuff. So I'm watching that little machine, but I never look at the building. I'm always looking straight ahead, and I just wait for instructions. So if they stop me on the scale and it says stop, I have my foot on the service brake and I'm looking straight ahead. Sometimes, I'll take a sip of my water, whatever, and I don't act nervous at all. I don't keep looking into the window, and then it'll tell me exit to interstate. So as I'm getting ready to pull forward to go on the ramp, I just wave my hand, still without looking at them. I just wave my hand, turn my four-ways off, turn my headlights on, and proceed forward. And I make it through the scale every time. I don't hardly ever get pulled in. It's rare when they tell me to bring my bills in. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with me per se. I think it's more or less the fact that I'm just so relaxed through the whole thing. I'm not giving off like a nervous feel or something. So it's just kind of like, let her through. But also because we have the same run that we do every week, so I think they kind of know like what trucks go through there on a regular basis. So majority of the time they don't really mess with their regulars. And I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm speculating, but I hardly ever get pulled in to weigh stations to go and show them my registration and my insurance and all the stuff that they require for you to get through their scale house. So that's pretty much what I do. If going through the scale house and having to be weighed for the weigh in motion. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm possibly forgetting. I don't think so. I think that's pretty much all I got. Just thought I'd give you guys something to chew on for a little while. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about that. Since I'm talking about scale houses, so do not blow through a scale house on the highway. The signs on the road take precedent over the signs on the road take precedent over the Qualcomm or the platform science, the thing you have in your truck. It'll take point on whether you go in or not. So let's say that you're driving by and the Qualcomm or your platform science, whatever system you're using, and yours says bypass, but the sign on the side of the highway say all commercial trucks must exit, you need to exit. Even though your system gave you a bypass, you need to exit because the sign on the road said all commercial vehicles need to exit or must exit. So when it says that, you need to comply to that, even if you go through and it's a green light the whole way and then you just merge back on the freeway. I know I hate it all the time. It feels like a waste of time. It's very tedious to have to go through there and not have to stop, or there was no purpose. But it's better to be safe than to be sorry, because if you blow past there and they come after you, that's a ticket. And those tickets are not cheap. Depending on what state you're in, it's going to be between $300 and $500. I've seen some that are $800. I've seen some that are $1,500. Some that are $1,000. So there's a saying: when in doubt, just pull it. When in doubt, just pull it. Because sometimes the readers won't even read them. So like your best pass, it'll tell you weigh scale or weigh house in 1 mile, and then that's it. That's all it says to you on your system, your Qualcomm or your platform science. That's all it says. It's 1 mile, and then you're waiting for it to give you a signal, and the next thing you know, the ramp is coming up. So if you don't get anything in your truck and it's not telling you what to do, you need to pull in. Because their readers will read your best pass. So they'll know whether you were called to be pulled in or not. But it's better to be pulled in and them not need you than for you not to pull in and then your truck was flagged as in like it was a truck that should have been pulled in. And lately with all these blitzes and them like cracking down and safety this and checking our trucks and all that stuff, you do not want to be one of the ones where they come and chase you down. Okay? You don't want to be chased down by DOT because you got a bypass, but their sign said all trucks must exit. So just keep that in mind. Trying to think of what else goes along with that. Sometimes they can pull you in just for hazmat. If you have hazmat and they haven't inspected a hazmat in a while, they can pull you in and give you an inspection just based off of that. It's happened to me. I was hauling hazmat and they're like, we haven't cleared a hazmat in a while, so I just happened to be the lucky one that came through there. They were like, you have hazmat, so I need all your bills and I need, your logs. They had me send over my logs and all this other stuff. It was a level 2. They did a level 2 on me and checked the ABS and all that, and I almost got dinged for it. I didn't. But it was Estes Trailers, doubles, and their ABS light was on, but it didn't go off. It stayed on, and he had me, go through the point to where it would cycle through, and he's like, I can hear it. He says, but your light stays on. There's something wrong. So I told him, I said, well, I drive for Covenant, and we haul for Estes. I said, and they are responsible for their trailers, and our company is responsible for our tractors. He goes, yeah. He's like, that's a really good deal to have, because then it doesn't fall on the other company. So he said that he would just let it go, and gave me a warning. And I said, I will definitely let them know that, they have to maintain their trailers a bit more and stuff like that. So I sent an email, blah, blah, blah. But, they never pay attention to anything as far as other drivers or people telling them what to do and how to run their company. If they don't see it as a top priority, what can we do? But I did let Covenant know, send emails, and talk to my fleet and told them exactly what was said, what was happening, and just covered my behind as best as I could. Because as long as we're hauling their equipment, if it's not up to par, they're only going to give us so many warnings before they start issuing tickets for, things like that, or shutting us down. So, that's just something else that they have the power to do. So, but yeah, agricultural stations, not much to them. When it comes to way stations, when in doubt, always go in. And just be respectful, courteous. Like I said, headlights off, 4 ways on. If they pull you inside, that's also not difficult. Take your black book that comes with the truck. That's what they want. Your driver's license, and take your bills just in case, because some of them want to know what you're hauling, what your cargo is. And you just follow their instructions, plain and simple. So just thought I'd let you guys know. So until next time, guys, bye.